Hey, hi, hello. Wow. This is this is not something I thought we would be doing today. I got to be honest with you. Did not think we were going to have this happening today. Nobody's here yet. We'll check and see if anyone ever shows up. But if not, it'll be something to watch, something if you're a subscriber, and I appreciate everyone who's subscribed can take a look at later. But yeah, according to Jeff Passan, or Passan as I like to call him, because it looks like Nissan, so I go Passan. I don't know. The Mariners have signed Cal Raleigh to a 6-year, $105 million contract extension. And those of you who have been paying attention to me for a long time know, and I can only apologize, that I did not believe that this was a thing that was ever going to happen. And by the way, I apologize that the sound is so bad. I just realized my microphone isn't plugged in. It is what it is. This is awesome. This is just as good of Seattle Mariner news as we've had since the trade deadline. This is something that had to happen. And I'll just be honest, I didn't think it ever would. Because even with the switch of agencies, it just felt to me like Raleigh was somebody who wanted to test free agency. It felt like something that was going to be inevitable. I didn't see any way that the Mariners were able to get this done. And now that they have got it done, I have to tell you, it's a financial figure that is much less than I thought it would be. I was thinking Raleigh was going to be a $30 million a year guy based on how things go. Maybe 30 is not right, but above 20 and probably above 25. So to get him for, let's see, 17 million a year, I'm not rooting for ownership. It's a very team-friendly contract. I am stunned by how team-friendly it is. And, it's not like I feel bad for him. He's going to make a lot of money, more than you or I or the majority of people will. But I thought it would be higher. I thought it would be a lot higher. And let me know in the comments or in the chat or whatever if I'm wrong. I really thought it was going to be a lot more money. I could not agree with you more, my friend. I could not agree with you more. It is a good day. It is a good day for Seattle Mariner fans. And it's a good day for Big Dumper too. I haven't seen, and thank you guys for coming in. I haven't seen if there's a no trade clause or not. I just reacted to seeing it and thought, you know what? I've recorded 2 videos today, and why not go live? I haven't gone live in a long time, so I just thought it would be fun. I'm going to pull up Twitter real quick. Let's go to Jeff Passan. He's the one I trust the most with this stuff. It's so it buys out 3 years of free agency. So that's big. That's big. It doesn't say anything about a no trade clause yet. He will be close by the end of it to 10-5 rights, I think. But it doesn't say anything about a no trade clause. I would imagine Big Dumper would want that. Oh, KJR says full no trade clause. Okay. What would KJR know? They have me on the show. No, I'm just kidding. Full no trade. Great. Totally fine with that. Keeps them from doing something stupid. And I just don't think you can overstate how important Big Dumper is for this organization, right? It's not just what he does behind the plate, and what he does behind the plate is elite. And by the way, the extensions that you've seen from Alejandro Kirk and from Cal Raleigh, the fact that these teams have been willing to give them long-term contract shows that it's not just about framing, right? With these new rules coming, with the ABS system and all that stuff, right? Framing is still important, but also it's what they do with their pitching staffs that matters more. Yes, it's great that Cal Raleigh can steal strikes. It's great that Big Dumper is able to manipulate umpires into making bad calls. But there's so much more he does with the pitching staff, right? They trust him as a pitch caller. They trust him when he goes out to the mound to talk to them about the things he needs to work on. They trust him. That's important, right? So that's important. At the plate, yeah, there are moments where it's frustrating, but he's a guy who's going to hit 25 to 35 homers. If you have the right type of lineup around him, particularly in front of him, drive in a bunch of runs, and he's going to get on at a solid clip. Like, I think Cal Raleigh is a good enough offensive player that if he was to move from catcher to first base or DH, I think he's more than a good enough hitter to justify, especially at this contract. Especially at this contract. He does have the most iconic moment, and great point. And thank you again, guys, everybody who showed up for this thing. He does have the most iconic moment in modern Mariner history. It's not even close. Like, all due respect to the Adam Frazier double and, the JP Crawford triple. No, the most iconic moment is that homer off the window, off the wall. I won't finish the rest of that. Honestly, never thought this would happen with the ownership group. That's a good point. I think if we were talking a bigger figure, I'd be a little more surprised, but I get it. Especially for catcher. Because I'm not going to lie to you. There's a chance that in 2 or 3 years, Raleigh's knees become shot and he has to become a part-time catcher or whatever. That's risky to sign for 6 years. Having said that, they're saving themselves so much money to not only bring in an important middle of the order hitter, an important defensive player, but a leader of that team. A leader. It's almost something they have to do. Not almost, it was something they have to do. And let me make this abundantly clear while I get my negative Nancy hat on. Signing Raleigh to this type of contract, boy, I'm getting just blown up with text messages, by the way. Signing him to this type of contract doesn't mean that it doesn't justify what they didn't do in the offseason. It doesn't mean it was okay for them not to improve this team. You could have done this extension and improved this baseball team. Let's be abundantly clear about that. Okay? You can't say, they didn't go get a second baseman or third baseman because they needed this money to sign Cal Raleigh. You can't do that. You shouldn't do that anyway. But it doesn't mean that today's news isn't awesome. Because this is the ultimate win-win-win, right? This is the same thing as the Julio contract extension, obviously, for far less potential dollars, but the same thing in terms of the fact that it's a win for Big Dumper because he's getting taken care of. He will be set for the rest of his life as long as he doesn't make terrible financial decisions. It is a win for the Seattle Mariners because they have their catcher locked up long-term and they have their leader locked up long-term, and they are saving substantial money over particularly the last 3 years of that contract. They're saving substantial money on it. And it's a win for us because Cal Raleigh has become one of the most popular players, not just now, in Mariner history. You know, seeing Big Dumper leave would be hard, like hard. And I know there's some baseball analysts I respect who have suggested that they should have traded Big Dumper. I wholeheartedly disagree. Wholeheartedly. And I'm glad the Mariners disagreed too. I'm really glad. By the way, if you're in here, if you don't mind hitting like, I'd really appreciate it. Helps the channel a lot. Let's go Indeed. Let's go Indeed. This is such a big move for the Seattle Mariners. This is such a big move, and I'm going to repeat it. Win, win, win. Not just a pretty good rap song, but a win-win-win for us, for the Mariners, and for Big Dumper. And that's all we want. Yep. F everything else, win, 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 win. And I hope Logan Gilbert is next. Really do. I think he might be. You got to lock up those guys. They're so important, not just for now, but for the long-term sustainability of what they're building, right? You got to do it. So, yeah, I'm reading your comment about the 17.5, and I totally agree. I thought it was going to be substantially more than that. But if Big Dumper's happy with what he got, I'm happy. But I do think that if he tested free agency in 2 years, and if he is a semblance of the same player, it's a lot bigger contract than that. A lot bigger. So I do wonder what's next. I would guess a Gilbert extension. I would guess that's the next person that signs on. It could be Kirby. It feels like Gilbert's more important. And that wouldn't surprise me at all, if that's part of his thinking, that to have less, to take less so that this team, now he shouldn't have to do that. But, well, and that's a good point that OK Dan makes here, is that he had to weigh the possibility of a lockout, and a lockout is honestly not a possibility. It's happening. There will be missed games in 2026. I am disappointed by that, and I pray I'm wrong. There will be. And then the fact that he'll be over 30 as a free agent, he's probably looking at more of a short-term big AAV contract, like I could see 390 or something along those lines. So, yeah, the fact that he is going to miss some, or on the wrong side of that because of how stupid baseball system is and so unfair it is to the players. It's a good point. But still 17.5 is an absolute steal. Anyway, I wanted to get my thoughts out there. I also, real quick, I have my top 15 prospects updated for Mile Y enthusiasts, and I just posted an infield preview talking about my confidence in Big Dumper, which is really funny. So appreciate you guys hanging out with me for these 15 or so minutes. Love the support. Can't thank you enough. We'll be live for opening day, I'm pretty sure. I don't know that for sure because of the fact that I may have to cover a couple of games, but I think I will be live. So if you don't mind hitting like before you leave, really appreciate it. And Big Dumper, I'll answer that question real quick. Do you think Harry Ford will move to a different position? No. I think they'll still keep him behind the plate. They'll still have him play in the outfield here and there. Harry Ford is either going to be a trade candidate, or we are going to see him be a super utility who catches, a guy who plays some behind the plate and then also plays in the outfield. And I could see some infield as well from him. I wouldn't be surprised if they worked him around a little bit. Really good questions. And then Connor, to answer your question, you bet your sweet Bibby, we will be recapping every single Seattle Mariner game. I will never give that up. No matter what job I get, I will always recap every single Seattle Mariner game. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.